All right, guys, why are you poor? Okay, why are you poor? That's a question that everyone asks themselves when they're poor. If you obviously don't have your desired reality, your desired life, then you're lacking, which means if you're lacking, that shows that you have something that you don't have what you want, which means that you're poor of that thing. All right, so I'm gonna break down how 3 different ways of why you're actually poor, and I'm gonna give you guys a solution, because why would I tell you guys and point out why you're poor and not give you a solution? So watch to the end, and hopefully by the end of this video you can understand and be able to change your mindset so that you can stop being poor and stop lacking. All right, so first thing, mentally, people are mentally poor. Okay, so first thing, people are mentally poor. If you guys don't know what mentally is, let's look at it. And yes, we're literally going to look at what mental means. Mentally, okay? So mentally is in manner relating to the mind, inwardly, okay? Inwardly. And let's go to the etymology of it. If you guys don't know what etymology is the study of words. So we're gonna look at the etymology of this word, okay? What's the mental? Your mental is pertaining to the mind, to think, okay? To think. It's inwardly, okay? That's what mentally is. So if someone says they're mentally poor, they're inwardly poor, okay? That means on the inside of them, they can have all the flashy jewelry, nice cars, nice house. It doesn't matter because they're inwardly poor, okay? And then we also had to think. A lot of people think poor. A lot of people think poorly. A lot of people think poorly. That's the greatest way to put it. Okay, so we'll put a 1 next to this and a 2 next to this. All right, so a lot of people are inwardly poor, and we have a verse for this. I like to use the Bible. I like to use Bible principles to discuss topics in real life. A lot of people read the Bible as some magical, mystical book that is fiction, stories that never happen. But no, the Bible is literally the most powerful book in existence. So we're gonna go over here and let me get this scripture for y'all. All right, the scripture is right here. So it says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee." Okay, so right here, for as he think in his heart, so is he. So whatever you think in your heart, that's what you are. Your heart, if you guys don't know what your heart is, your heart goes to your mind. When you look up what a heart actually means, your heart, let's go to meaning. Your heart literally goes to your center. It goes to your core. And if we keep going, it goes to your intellect, which if you go deeper into that, it will take you to your mind. So your heart is your mind almost, okay? So let's just say your heart equals mind. But the thing about the heart, see the difference between your heart and just normal thoughts. Your heart does this thing, okay? Your heart has like this power, okay? Everyone's heart has like this little ability. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. Your heart emits these frequencies, and that's why it said, "As so a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." So your heart emits these frequencies, and the frequencies that your heart emits, I forget if it's 80 or 60, but these frequencies are 60 or 80 times stronger than whatever your brain is thinking. Right, so this is your brain right here, because the difference between these are emotionally charged thoughts, emotionally charged energy. All the emotions that you have start in your heart, okay? They start in your mind, like your center, like the core of you. That's where these emotions come from, okay? So if you're happy, that comes from your heart. That's why people say they're in love, and people draw love with a heart, because that's the symbolism of it. So when people are in love, they said that they're head over heels over someone. They usually draw a heart to symbolize love, because love is one of the strongest emotions that you can have, and they draw it that it comes with the heart. Okay, and your mind just thinks thoughts. These thoughts, they come and go. They go through one side and come out the other. They come through one side and go out the other. But your mind also gets programmed, okay? Your mind takes in programming. It's like a computer almost. It gets programmed codes get imprinted into it. These codes, based on what you're putting into your mind, into your brain, based on what you're putting in, can affect this. Okay, it can affect this. For example, let's say someone is watching inappropriate film. We all know what inappropriate film is. You're programming your mind with that. You become desensitized to real people. Okay, you become desensitized to people. You start seeing people as less. You start seeing people in a weird way. You just become weird. Okay, you become weird. That's the lowest frequency. That's probably one of the lowest frequencies you can have. Okay, if you have that, changing that about yourself can change a lot about your life overall. But to get back on topic, whatever you're programming into your mind is going to affect your emotions overall. For example, if you are listening to like raging music and you're watching a bunch of like stuff where people are just fighting all day, you're more likely to get angry and start fighting people. Like when you go out in public, you're gonna be an angry person. Whatever you're programming into your mind, into your brain, is going to affect all your emotions. And that's the frequency that you're gonna emit. See, when you let's just make red. This red is gonna be angry frequencies. All right, so these angry frequencies are going to affect your environment. They're going to go into people. Okay, they're going to go into people, and these people are going to feel that frequency. That frequency is going to hit these people, and they're going to reflect that frequency back on you. Because usually if you're happy and you show someone like kindness, you're happy for someone else, they show that they're happy towards you back. When you're mad and you do something that out of anger towards someone, they do something out of anger towards you back. They start getting an attitude with you. So frequencies go out, but they flow back into you. It's kind of funny because a lot of people don't realize that. And they don't care. That's why this frequency, let's say it doesn't go into people. Let's say this frequency doesn't go back into people. Let's say that frequency goes out into the world. This frequency that you have of anger. So the world, let's just say, I like to call it the ether. The ether, you're putting this energy out into the ether, the universe. It's going to pick up on it. It's going to pick up on it, and it's going to make things in your life happen to where you're going to get mad. Okay? You might see money taken out your account. That's negative $100. Okay, let's make a money sign. Negative $100. Boom. You stub your toe. Boom, you get mad. Road rage, car accident, family issues, sicknesses, all types of things happen when you're already mad. That's why it's so important to protect your energy. All right, and that's why there's this scripture right here. It says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are all issues of life. Because out of your heart causes all issues of life. If you don't keep your heart, keep goes into protect. I'll show you guys right now. Dang, this thing's really struggling to help me. Okay, keep meaning, we'll see that this means maintenance. It means support, board. Let's keep going. All right, I'm gonna show you guys what keep means real quick, and then we'll get back into it. Retain, hold, preserve, guard your heart. Guard goes into protect. Okay, defensive, safety, defense. You gotta play defense with your heart, which is your mind, which is your emotions, which is your feelings. You gotta protect it. Protect your energy, protect your mind, protect your heart. That's why it's not good to be head over heels over someone who's toxic. You guys both just become toxic together. That's why okay, have you guys ever heard the saying where, okay, you're the product of your environment? There's that one saying, you're the product of your environment. If someone lives in the hood, you're most likely you're gonna pick up habits of someone that lives in the hood. Okay, you become a product of the 5 people that you hang around. Okay, if you hang around 5 broke people, okay, these are broke people, they look all sad, they're broke. Okay, boom, boom. All right, 5 broke people. Okay, let's add some disco balls. They're at a party. 5 broke people. Okay, and then let's do another group of friends. Let's do a yacht. How can you be angry on a yacht? 5 millionaires, 5 millionaires, 5 happy millionaires. How can you be mad on a yacht? Let's be honest, okay? All right, 5 millionaires. Boom. And this is, let's say this is you, and then this is you. All right. So you're hanging out with 5 broke people. They party every weekend, drink, smoke, drugs, all types of degeneracies every single week, every single day. Their conversations, all they talk about is gossip. All they talk about is issues. All they talk about is girls. And if you're a girl, all they talk about is boys. Okay, all they talk about is boys and girls and affairs, their love affairs, things that don't profit them. That's all they talk about. That's all they talk about. Things that are just annoying. Gossip, issues. Who wants to hear gossip all day? Some people do like to hear gossip all day, but that's why yeah, that's why you'll be on this side of the crowd. Okay, gossiping is not a godly trait. That is a human characteristic. If you know what human is a carnal mind. Human is a mortal mind. Okay, you do not want to gossip. You don't want to do any of these things. You don't want to be talking about issues. You don't want to be complaining. Speaking about complaining, that goes super deep. I can show you guys the Bible verse, but basically when Moses was taking the children of Israel out the wilderness, the people that were complaining were the people that couldn't go into the promised land. They couldn't go to heaven because they were too human. They were too simple minded. They were too poor minded. They kept complaining and bringing up issues and gossiping, and they kept having affairs, and they had all types of issues, and they couldn't go into heaven. They couldn't go into the promised land. All right, but that's a whole nother story. All right, so you got this group of people. Where's my mouse at? Okay, and then you got the people on the yacht. All they talk about is success. All they talk about success. There's peace. You're on a yacht. When you're on a yacht, you don't even gotta talk. You just get to enjoy the view. Enjoy the view, relax, enjoy life. Okay? All they have is peace. All they have is business. Who doesn't like talking about business? They're networking. Yo, I could do this for your company. I could do this for your company. Oh, like I needed that. I've been looking for someone that could do, like, that's gonna make you happy. Okay, they're talking about new upgrades. They're talking about, oh, I got this new house. Like, I got this new property. Yeah, we should go view it after we get off this $10 million yacht. They got chefs on the yacht feeding them the gourmet meals and food. They got good music. They got an ocean view. How can you be mad on the sea on a yacht? How can you be mad? How can you actually be mad? Okay, you see the difference between these two people, these group of people. All right, and let's say this isn't you. Let's say you're split in the middle. Let's say you're split in the middle. Let's say this is your people from your hometown. You love these people. You grew up with them. They're from your hometown. And these are people that you met. Let's just say you met them online. I don't know why in this generation, even me, you meet most successful people online and not in your hometown. I'm just being honest. All right, this is your hometown. This is a mix of your friends that you grew up with. You guys went to the same kindergarten. You guys went to the same high school. You guys went to the same preschool. Your mom knew each other. Your mom's moms knew each other. Your dad's dads knew each other. Y'all homies. Y'all been friends forever. This is your friends and your family. This is your cousins. This is your family. This is your brothers and sisters. All they want to do is gossip. Oh, mom said this about you. I don't like the way they're always complaining. They're always complaining. Okay, always complaining. Always an issue. But the people that you meet online, if you meet someone online and all you guys do is business, and all you guys do is talk about success in life and good things of life, what room do you have to gossip? You really only gossip when you're too comfortable with people, when you know too much about them. But if you know these people online, you don't know much about them. All you know is that they make money and that they got a happy life. There's not much to gossip. There's not much issues that they have because you met them online. You most likely met them in a good community, and they somehow make a lot of money. They don't have a lot of issues. When they have issues, they solve it themselves. They don't bring the issues to everyone else. That's another thing. Protect your energy. Someone should not be bringing problems to you. No one should be bringing negative problems to you. Okay? All right? So basically, you become a product of whoever you hang around. If you're split in the middle, this is you. And let's say you go hang around these people. Let's say you hang around them for a month straight. You're home from college, you hang around them for a month straight. You're gonna pick up on their habits. You're gonna start gossiping. You're gonna start having issues. You're gonna start complaining. You're gonna start having love affairs. You're gonna start talking about boys and girls in your city, in your hometown. The more and more you hang around these people, the more and more you're gonna become like them. And you're gonna become broke and poor just like them. All right. But these people over here, the millionaires, the people that have success and have peace and have new upgrades and talking about business and talking about success, and they're on a yacht and they're having peaceful conversations. There's never any issues because they solve every issue they have. Okay. You're going to start becoming richer. They're going to start opening your mindset. They're going to either go and motivate you, inspire you, support you. They might fund your businesses. They might help you. You're going to feel so wrong to even bring problems to these people. These people have no business knowing gossip from your hometown. Like, you have no reason bringing any issues to people that have no idea who you are as a person. But the more and more you hang around them, you are going to know more about them. Okay. And they're going to know more about you. And it's going to build habits. You're going to understand every room you got to read the room. You read the room. Some people don't know how to read the room. Those are the people you do not want to hang around because you can't take them anywhere. All right. But you got to read the room. These people are always talking about success. So it's going to become a habit to talk about the things that they talk about. If you talk about some complaining, you start complaining, everybody going to get quiet. It's going to be real awkward. It's going to be really awkward. And you're going to be the odd one out, and to the point where you get kicked out the group and get sent back to these people. Okay. You don't want to do that. So the main point of this, you need to look at your environment. Are you hanging around people that don't benefit you, that are bringing all these negative emotions to you? Or are you bringing the people that are bringing all these positive emotions to you? Because this goes back to, what are you programming into your mind? We drew it right here, but let's just say this is the brain. What are you programming? I'm just gonna write this, programming into your mind. What are you putting in? Are you putting in this nonsense, this gossip, this issues, these complaining? Are you putting this into your mind? Or are you putting peace and success and business and new upgrades and peacefulness and happiness and joyfulness and all that stuff into your mind? What are you putting into your mind? Because whatever you're putting into your mind is what your heart is going to pick up. And then whatever your heart's picking up is what you're going to emit into the world. And whatever you're emitting into the world is what you're going to get back as a return. Okay. So when you hang around these friends, when you hang around this group of toxic people, and they're putting these negative emotions into you, they're putting these negative emotions into your mind, your heart is going to pick up on that. And boom, let's say your friend Tommy tells you about the saddest story ever. His girlfriend cheated on him, so he got to get back and cheated on her back. She got back with him and they cheated. So then you're going to feel some type of way. You might feel bad for him. You might start feeling sad. You might start feeling angry. Like, well, could she cheat on you? How could she cheat on you? You're going to start feeling negative emotions, and that's going to emit back out. That's why you protect your energy at all costs. You don't hang around negative people. Hang around people that benefit you. Okay? Simple. It's that simple. And that is square one. The mental changes. This is why people are poor. Their environment makes them poor. Their environment. Okay? And no, you do not have to. You can change your environment without changing your environment. And let me explain that a little bit more. Let's say you're someone in the hood. Okay? You're in a hood. When you're in the hood, all right, you're in a community where it's less fortunate. You're in a box. Okay? You're in a box. Okay? You're in a box. Okay? Let's say everyone around you is negative. Boom. Everyone around you is negative. All these people are negative. Okay? What do we say? They're all negative. All these people, your family, your friends, this is your hometown. All they want to do is bring issues to you. All you got to do is learn how to put this force field around yourself. You put this force field around yourself to where their issues don't affect you. Nothing can get in. Build armor. You got to build armor. Okay. And here's another scripture. All right, so this scripture says, put on the whole armor of Yahweh. When I see God, I say Yahweh, because that's the God that I believe in, and that's the God of the Bible. All right, so put the whole armor of Yahweh, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. All right, so guys, anger, sadness, anxiety, fear, all these are negative emotions. Negative emotions are not from God, Yahweh. They're not from God, Yahweh. They're not from whatever God you believe in. They're not from him. Okay, negative emotions are not from him. They are attacks. They are attacks from the devil. Okay, so anytime you have negative emotions, we can simply just do this. I like playing with words. You have the devil, the devil. Okay, and then you have God. Okay, you got God. If you just play with the letters a little bit, play with the letters, subtract the D, you get evil. The devil is evil. And God, let's make it green. If you add one letter, add a O, he's good. So good emotions, good thoughts, good emotions, good energy comes from Yahweh. So when you're happy, when you feel good love, okay, because there's bad love and there's good love. When you feel good love, when you feel joy, when you feel excited, when you feel all the good emotions you could think of, okay, that's good. That comes from him. That's peace. That comes from Yahweh. That comes from God. Okay, so that's an indication of when you're getting a spiritual attack, because whenever you feel anger, whenever you feel anxiety, okay, whenever you feel sadness, these are not your emotions. These emotions aren't yours. They're literally spirits, devils. They're literally demons getting attached onto you that are pushing these energies onto you. And the trick that they make you do, they make these emotions, they make you think these emotions are yours. When someone's depressed, they think they're depressed. No, there's a spirit of depression that's on you. There's a literal entity, of invisible entity that is making you depressed. And the moment you could break out of that and transform that depression into good emotions, you will no longer you don't get attacked that same way once you lose interest on whatever is making you depressed. Okay, so that's why you have to put an armor on. You have to put an armor that protects you from these attacks. And these attacks, what Satan does, Satan goes after these weak people. He goes after weak people. He goes after weak-minded people first. He infects them. He infects their mind to infect the stronger people's minds, because he knows that strong people, he can't target them directly, so he has to use people that they love as their weakness. So he uses your family, friends, or random people that you meet and can grow connections with. Okay, and the same thing happened in the Bible. Adam couldn't get deceived by Satan, so Satan had to make Eve fall for the trick so that Eve could trick Adam, because he loved her. He used love as a weakness. So love can be your biggest weakness when it comes to family, friends, anything. People will do anything for love. People will be simps. Let me show you. I love this. I'm having fun. All right, simps. Everyone wants to be a simp. All these girls want simps. And this is why none of their relationships go good, because they want simps. They want a foolish or stupid person. You guys want a stupid man to be your boyfriend. You want an idiot to simp over you. Simp literally means idiot. You want a fool. You want a moron. And that's why the relationship doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do good. You want a daredevil. Daredevil, if you take dare away, it means a devil. You want a devil. You want someone that's a devil. You want a person that's going to do you dirty. You don't want a man of God. See, girls be saying they want a man of God, but but they also say they want a simp. So you're saying you want a man of God and you want a devil at the same time. If we go deeper, we're actually going to find the word devil somewhere in here. Look, okay, this might sound crazy, but if you look at the word monkey, all right, because a simp meant a monkey, which a monkey means a devil. So they want, if any person, girl or guy, says they want a devil, if they want a simp, they're saying they want a devil as well, because you can't ignore what a word means. You literally can't ignore what it means. They're also saying they want a misbehavior. How you guys want loyal relationships and want a simp? You need to understand what these words actually means. Because when people say they want simps, they're actually asking for something a little bit more insidious, something a little bit more sinister, a little bit more evil. You're literally asking for an evil person to come in your life. And as you guys know, your words that you say have power. And yeah, that's basically what you're asking for. That was a little bit off topic, but that's very important. I'm not gonna lie. All right, but let's keep going. This is getting fun. Dang. How long is this video so far? 25 minutes? This thing looks like a mad scientist's artwork. I'm having fun though. Let's keep going though. All right, so right now you have to build your armor. Okay, this is your armor. These people are trying to infect you, and I love it so much. I just watched this movie called Sinners. Sinners is such a deep movie. It has such deep meanings. Sinners, the movie. Okay. So in Sinners, the movie, they have this main character who's a vampire. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys the main character. Sinners vampire. All right, they have this vampire. It's funny though, because this vampire, they made him seem like he was the devil, but he actually played the role of a god and a devil at the same time, which is really interesting. The director was really it was really interesting movie, because he was giving people eternal life and eternal happiness, but he was also using people's families to turn them into vampires and basically kill them. Wait, yo, if I spoiled the movie for you guys, my bad. It's not really a spoiler. Like, I didn't really say much, but it kind of did say a lot. But imagine this, okay? So a vampire, it's a movie about vampires. So they have vampires. This is vampire number 1. Okay, I might have to erase this. I think the more stuff I draw, the more it's lagging. So let me erase. I'm gonna erase everything real quick. Okay, we're gonna erase everything. Seems like it's kind of lagging a little bit. PC about to get fried. All right, we're back. We are back. Okay, we got the board empty. Yeah, this is my whiteboard. All right, so the movie Sinners. This movie's called Sinners, and it showcased every single sin. It showcased like so much different sins, but we're gonna start off with the vampire. All right, so he had one vampire, boom, and basically he would infect a new person. He would turn someone else into a vampire, but this person would have loved ones. This person would have like a husband and like a kid or something. All right, the husband and the kids will see that their loved one got turned into a vampire, something that's evil, and they'll clearly see it. They'll know something's wrong with them, but they love them so much, they will step outside. They'll go outside and get bit and get turned into this evil thing. See, this is what Satan does. He uses your loved ones against you. He uses your environment, the people that you love, against you, to never let you turn into who you need to become. See, people's biggest setback is their family. Oh my gosh, family is your biggest setback, and then your friends. And I can prove this in the Bible as well. He who loveth mother or father. Okay, this is a Bible scripture. Let's go to KJV. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So if you love your family more than God, Yahweh, you're not worthy of him. And what is of him? You're not worthy. Okay, if you choose these people over God, okay, all right, if you choose these people over him, over Yahweh, then you're not worthy. You're not worthy. You're not worthy. It's an X out. You're not worthy. Not worthy at all. Okay, not worthy of what? What does it mean to not be worthy of God, of Yahweh? That means you're not worthy of heaven. Okay, what is heaven? Heaven. Okay, heaven is the thing that is going to fix everyone's issues. Everyone thinks that they have to die to go to heaven. No, you don't have to die to go to heaven. You don't have to die to go to heaven at all. Okay? See, people are scared of dying. So if you had to die to go to heaven, Wouldn't everyone just want to like die? Wouldn't that make sense? If you had to die to go to heaven, wouldn't you just want to go to heaven as soon as possible? See, if that was the truth, then we would all be trying to go to heaven right now. Like literally. So that shows that heaven is on earth. Heaven is already here. Okay. So let's look. Okay, heaven. What is heaven? Let's look at what heaven is, just so we can see. And then we're also going to look at what hell is. Okay, because this is also going to tie back into class. Okay, it's also going to tie back into class. All right, so heaven, let's look at heaven meaning. Heaven is Yahweh. Heaven is God. It's a spiritual state of everlasting communion with God Yahweh. Okay, a place or condition of utmost happiness that is very pleasant and enjoyable. So whenever you're in a life, whenever your life is utmost happiness, utmost happy. All right, so you're happy, you're feeling joyful, you're feeling happy. Okay, so that's the first thing. Utmost happiness. You're in communion with, and then I'm just gonna put God, and I'm gonna put Yahweh. Okay, you're in communion with God Yahweh. Okay, and then the next thing for heaven was, what was the next thing? It is a state of thought in which sin is absent in harmony of divine mind. That is deep. If you understand that, that is very deep. But let's just say a state of thought in which sin is absent. Sin is absent. Okay, sin is absent. Let's say sin is absent, and that doesn't mean you can go sin and it doesn't exist. That doesn't mean that, because we're going to look at what sin is. Okay, and then so hell, what is hell? Hell is, okay, we're going to do 3 things for hell. We're going to keep it equal. All right, so hell, boom. Hell, what is hell? Hell is sin. Hell is sin. All right, that's the first thing that popped out. Hell is literally sin. All right, hell is a state of turmoil, destruction, even grief. What is turmoil? Okay, let's find out what that is real quick. A state of great disturbance, commotion, chaos, a state of chaos. Okay, it's chaos. Hell is chaos. So whenever you have drama, if you can describe your life as drama, you got people gossiping about you, you're the person gossiping. If people are like spreading issues, rumors, complaining, there's a bunch of chaos and confusion in your life, you're in a state of hell by definition. Okay, you're in a state of hell right now. If that's what your life is, you're in a state of hell. See, hell is described as chaos. Heaven is described as peace. Okay, peace. All right, let's keep going. All right, so chaos versus peace. All right, let's see what else hell is. Okay, hell is also, dang, an extremely unpleasant and often inescapable situation. Wow. So if you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like you're stuck in your situation and you don't like your situation, that's hell. All right, let's say you're broke and you feel like you can't, you're stuck in this box of you can't get rich. You're in a state of hell. Okay, and that doesn't mean it's a forever thing. You can get out of this state of hell. All right, it's going to take, we're going to get to the solutions pretty soon. So if you're stuck in a bad situation, whether you live with bad roommates, let's say you live with bad roommates, you hate school and you're stuck doing school because your parents told you to do school. If you're stuck with a job that you absolutely hate, but it's the only way you can make money, that's a state of hell. If you're stuck in a household or roommates or family that there's only issues, they hate you, is so much negative energy, is toxic. If you're stuck in a relationship that's toxic, that's all hell. That's all hell. All of that is a state of hell. Okay, so the only way that you know you have a state of heaven is if you're constantly happy. Sin is absent. Sin, which is known as hell, which is chaos, which is the feeling of being stuck, is absent. If you feel like you have freedom, and being stuck is absent, because we found out that sin is hell, and then hell is being stuck. If you feel like you have freedom, you can do anything, all chains are broken from you, you have no limitations, you're in heaven. Okay. And another way to put this, so Adam, when he came to earth, and took of the knowledge of good and evil, I'm just gonna keep it super plain and simple. Knowledge of good and evil, right? He got a body of, like, he got flesh on it. He got flesh added to him. He got flesh, like human flesh, the things that make humans humans. He got all that added to him. At first, he was like powerful. He was powerful. We seen him doing powerful things in the Bible. At first, he was naming all types of things. He wasn't able to get tricked by Satan, by the serpent. He was able to do a lot more. But boom, once he took of the knowledge, he basically got punished for it. He got punished for it, and he got a punishment. So your flesh keeps you grounded. Your flesh keeps you carnal. Your flesh keeps you have to eat, you have to drink water to stay alive. Back then, they didn't need that. They did not need that. They literally didn't need it. And you can do your research on this. It's books of Adam, Eve. If you look at it, they literally, at first, Adam didn't even know what water was. He didn't know what food was. He literally didn't know what it was. But once he got this curse of having like a coat of skin added onto him, then he realized, oh snap, I'm hungry. What is this feeling? He actually he realized what death was. Bro was dying multiple times. He died a lot of times, and like God, Yahweh had to kept resurrecting him, because he didn't even know what death was, because he was something beyond human. He was more than a human. Okay, so as a punishment, he got this flesh added to him. Flesh kept him on earth. It kept him grounded. It made him stuck. It literally made him stuck to the planet because of gravity. Okay, gravity made him stuck to this planet. So he was literally stuck here. He couldn't leave. Earth turned into like a prison for him. It literally turned into a prison. Okay, Earth was originally a heaven. People came here. They came here as a heaven. But once this happened, it turned into like a hell for him. Gravity got applied, and he became stuck. He couldn't do the things that he used to be able to do. Okay, and was stuck. All right. So with that said, that was a very simple explanation of it. Look into it deeper so you guys can actually understand it as well. But that was a very simple explanation of it. But gravity, skin, blood, becoming mortal was a punishment, and it made him stuck. He couldn't do the things that he used to be able to do. He was weak now. He grew weaknesses. Okay, he could actually die. He could actually feel pain. He actually needed food to live. He needed water to live. All these different things. Okay, back then he was literally borderline indestructible. The only thing that could touch him was God, Yahweh, the person who created him. Okay, but once he became weak, he was stuck. He was in a state of hell. Okay, literal state of hell and chaos. All right, literal state of hell, chaos, because once he became weak, he started getting tested. Things started coming towards him that created confusion and chaos and drama, bad things, which led to more sins. More sins started to happen. Okay, which all goes back to state of hell. And now let's go back to heaven. All right, so heaven, when you're in heaven, you're free. You are free. That doesn't mean you could go do whatever degenerate stuff you want. That doesn't mean that. That means you're free. You're not stuck. Okay, we should probably look at what stuck means. Let's go look at what stuck means actually. Stuck etymology. Okay, stuck. Unable to go any further. Dang. Unable to go any further. Condition of being unable to make progress. So if you feel stuck, if you feel like you're unable to make progress, you're in a state of hell. And we're gonna break that cycle in today's video, right? So you're unable. Okay, and I love this. I'm having fun, guys. I'm having fun. I like doing this. I ain't gonna lie. Let me know what other like topics you guys want in the future. but he was unable. He was unable. And if you guys know who Abel and Cain are, Abel, okay, we're gonna spell his name like this, and then Cain goes into can't. Cain couldn't do what Abel did, got jealous and killed him. Okay, so if you're in a state of hell, you're unable right now. Okay, but it's time to arise. It's time to arise. It's time to awaken. It's time to get to your next level. I feel like I didn't go over the blueprint. That was supposed to be, wait, the first one was mentally. It technically went over everything. We went over mentally, financially, and then we went over you, because we went over like your family, friends, choosing. Okay, we went over everything, but I didn't separate it technically. It was all technically in one. But all right, so for the next section, how to break out of this hell cycle, how to break out of hell. How do you break out of hell? How do you end the cycle of feeling poor? How do you feel unstuck? What do you do? What do you do? Okay, that's what we're gonna go over now. All right, let me just erase everything real quick. All right, so we need to break the cycle. There's a few ways to break the cycle. There's a few ways, okay? So when you're in hell, if you're in a state of hell, okay, we're just gonna say state. I need to make this thing smaller. I don't like how big it is. A state of hell. All right, if someone's in a state of, all right, the first one we're gonna do is heaven, because we're gonna do it like a ladder. It's levels to it. All right, state of heaven. And this person, state of hell. Typically, when you're born in this world, you'll be surprised, but you're actually born here. You're at your purest form as a baby when you first come into this world. Unless if you're born evil, you're cooked. I ain't gonna lie, you're cooked. Some people are born evil. That's why you gotta protect your energy from people. All right, but let's just say the general people, you're born in a state of heaven. Okay, why? Babies don't have any programming in them. They came straight from wherever their soul came from, Yahweh. Their soul is fresh from Yahweh. All right, their soul is fresh from God, put into a woman's belly, and they're born. All right, it's not until their parents start telling them, yo, you can't do this, they start saying no. They start inflicting pain and fear and basically evil into their life. They start inflicting their perception, their limited perception, their human perception onto a baby. That's when the baby starts descending. The baby starts descending into the point where the baby gets to the point where they're just like their parents and they're just like their other people. All right, so the baby starts off at the pure state, and after getting programmed, getting raised, it's kind of funny because parents think that they raise their kid, but you actually make the kid kind of descend in a way, which is interesting. All right, but you're technically, you descend. You basically descend because a baby, they don't know anything. They don't know anything. Nothing's programmed. A baby will go touch something that's hot, and they won't know that it's hot because they don't know. They don't understand what hot and cold is. But if their parents start screaming at them and says, no, don't touch that, then you're inflicting fear into the baby. So now the baby's never going to touch that thing. All right, they're already inflicting fear into them. Okay, that's just a one example, but let's just say it's other things. For example, let's say a kid wants to be an astronaut when they grow up. They said they're watching TV and they're like, I want to be that when I grow up. And their parents like, nah, you can't do that. Okay, you already killed their dream. So now they're going to stay at this level. By killing a kid's dream, you keep them at this level. So how do you break out of this level? Because let's say everyone's at this level right now. Everyone's at their lowest. Let's say everyone's at their lowest. Okay, let's say you're at your lowest. How do you break out? All right, so how do you break out? How do you break out this cycle? How do you break out? Okay, I like using this example. All right, it's called a phoenix. A phoenix is a bird. It's a mythical bird. All right, so a phoenix drawing. All right, so a phoenix is a mythical, powerful bird. It's full of energy, full of life, full of fire. Okay, so how a phoenix operates, basically, A phoenix has to die to regain its strength. The phoenix purposely has to die. He has to choose to die to purposely regain life and become stronger and to begin a rebirth. Okay, so a word that we're gonna go over is rebirth. Okay, you have to rebirth. You have to rebirth. Okay, that doesn't mean, yeah, it's a mental thing. Okay, it's a mental and a spiritual thing. So this phoenix has to rebirth. The phoenix is, I'm gonna try to draw a bird real quick. It's all strong. It has to die, but then it's risen again. Okay, if anyone knows the story of a phoenix, it is like medium strong, dies, and then is risen again to a stronger state. All right, we also have butterflies. Okay, we have a butterfly. So you have a caterpillar, boom. The caterpillar has to choose to hop in its cocoon. Okay, I'm trying to draw a cocoon right now. All right, the butterfly has to choose to hop in a cocoon, and once it goes through this cocoon phase, it turns into this beautiful butterfly. Okay, this is a good, this was such a good picture. I cooked it. All right, it turns into this beautiful butterfly. So it starts off as this stuck object. A caterpillar can't really go anywhere. It can't really do much. It's stuck. But then it evolves into this free object. But it has to go through this middle phase, and we'll just call this a locked in phase. It literally has to lock itself in to become free. And just like anything, if we just tie this to like a business, you're on a job, you're stuck, you lock in, you start working, you lock yourself in a room, you apply yourself to a business, you start putting timeless hours into like some type of side hustle business, and then you end up becoming free. You become financially free. That's how life works. You don't just wake up stuck, 9-to-5 job, and then you just skip this process. You don't skip this process. Okay, you have to go through some type of realization that, okay, why am I stuck right now? I need to change. All right, so in this cocoon, okay, here, let's go back again. All right, so in this cocoon, you have a metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Okay, the caterpillar metamorphosizes into the butterfly, basically. All right, let's look at what metamorphosis even means. Okay, because what the heck does that even mean? First off, we're gonna break it. Actually, let's just do the full word. Metamorphosis. Okay, metamorphosis means change, form, or structure, action, changing in form. You need to change your form. You need to transform, be transfigured. Okay, you need to change. How can you expect different results if you don't change? How can you be different? How can you go from stuck? How can you go from poor if you don't change? Something is obviously not right with you in your habits, mentally, the way you're thinking about life, your perception, how you're treating yourself, the people you have around you. Something's not right. So you need to change. And that's all what a metamorphosis is. The caterpillar has to change into a butterfly. Okay? Change. So you can do this by your habits. You need to change your habits. Okay? Form good habits. You need to form good. And then we'll go back to habits. Okay? Form good habits. And if you guys remember, good, which is God, with an added O. Form godly habits. Form habits that are godly to this planet. See, if you're a 1%er, if you're a 0.0001%er, if you're able to be not average, that means you are supreme. You're superior to the people that are average to this planet. You need to strive to be better. You need to strive to be average, or you need to strive to be superior, not average. Do not be average, okay? Never be average. You never want to be average, bro. Never, ever. Okay? Let's see what else God means, okay? God means we'll just say good. We'll just say good. All right, we'll just say God represents good. Let me ask you guys this: when you go out in public, when you go out somewhere, Do you stand out or do you blend in? Are you just another person in an ocean of people that just blends in? Are you unseen? Does your life matter? If you vanish tomorrow, who would realize? Okay? If the answer is no, nobody will realize, then that means you haven't created enough impact in this world. You haven't created enough impact in this world to even be noticed, to even be realized, to even be recognized. All right? So you got to strive to be that person that stands out. Okay? You want to stand out and be a righteous example, because if you even believe in hell or heaven, you obviously want to be blessed by God. You don't want to be a figure of Satan, a figure of the Matrix. You don't want to be one of those people. Okay? A lot of people sell their souls or whatever. You don't want to be one of them. You want to be blessed by God, because if you're blessed by Yahweh, if you're blessed by God, if you're blessed by Yahweh overall, you're eternal life. You get eternal life, which is eternal goodness, eternal happiness. The people that are blessed by Satan, that have to sell their soul, humiliation rituals. They get humiliated just so they can reach the next level. Okay? So it's like, at what cost do they receive riches and fame and all that stuff? At what cost? All right? So you want to stand out in a good way. Be a righteous, perfect, motivational, inspirational example. Be someone that people could look up to and want to be like. Okay? All right? Let's start over. So that's one thing. Fix your habits. Okay? The easiest way to fix your habits is, first off, build discipline. Discipline is discipline. Discipline over motivation. Oh my gosh, I could go forever. I could literally go forever. I'm gonna have to literally just cut this short so I don't go forever. Okay? I can literally go forever. That's the thing about me. Oh my God, once I get in that mood, I could go forever. I love it. All right? So discipline, you need to build that discipline, okay? Discipline over motivation. All right, your discipline, if you wake up and you're disciplined, you're gonna do it regardless. You're going to work hard regardless. Nothing controls you. No external thing controls what you're going to do, okay? But when you're motivated, you might do it one day. The next day you don't do it. The next day you do it. The next day you don't do it. You might do it 2 days in a row. But then the next 3 days, you just forget about it until it just doesn't exist anymore in your mind. And let's say an example is, people be doing the New Year's resolutions and say they're going to go to the gym. Someone that's been going to the gym already every single day, 365 days a week, or 365 days a year, they don't have to set a new goal to go to the gym. They don't have to. They're already disciplined to do it, okay? That's already instilled in their mind. That's already a part of them. But a person that only goes to the gym off motivation, their body is going to reflect that, all right? Their body's going to reflect that, okay? So you need to build discipline in whatever it is, whatever aspect of your life that you need discipline in. Maybe you need to have more discipline in reading. Maybe you need more discipline in praying. Maybe you need more discipline in staying away from bad influences. And the reason why motivation can be a really good thing, but it also can be tied to dopamine. See, whenever you just operate on whenever you feel like it or good emotions, it's dopamine, okay? And this is the same feeling that you get when you do drugs, okay? When you do drugs, when you party. I definitely just spelled that with a B. That's kind of crazy. Okay, when you party, when you do all of these degenerate activities that the devil creates. See, the devil, he wants you to feel motivation. He wants you to feel motivation because he knows you're going to give up on it within a few days. So that's why he gives you short-term joy. He gives you short-term joy. Everything's short-term with him, okay? Drugs, short-term, okay? You do drugs. Boom, you start off this. Actually, you start off low. You take this drug. You go up. And then you come back down. But except when you keep doing it, you go back up. But you come a little bit lower next time, all right? You're gonna need a little bit more drugs to get to that same level. But then you come a lot lower next time. It's just a cycle. That's what drugs do to you. It brings you lower and lower and lower, and people don't even realize that. And That's why you build your tolerance for these certain drugs. You build your tolerance because that same level of drugs that you needed to get up here last time, you're down here now. You're going to need double to even get up there, to even feel that same feeling, because you messed yourself up so much to where you brought yourself all the way this low. So that's why it's so dangerous to do things like these two things. Okay, obviously, let's say someone has like an accomplishment. Let's say you just did $1 million in a day and you just want to celebrate. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're doing parties, when you're going to the club every weekend, club every Sunday, Saturday, Wednesday, that's your life. Your life revolves around parties and drugs, drinking, alcohol. That's when it's an issue. Okay, that's why you need discipline. You need discipline. You need to fix your habits in your life, and that can go to every single thing in your life. Whether you need discipline in your job, discipline in your business, let's say business, discipline and self bettering yourself. Let's say you're reading more self-help books. You're reading more. You're bettering your knowledge. You're adding discipline to make yourself more knowledgeable and get more understanding in this world. Okay, let's say you're doing that, then that's good. You need discipline. You need discipline. You need discipline. Discipline is so big. You can't give up on yourself, or else you're gonna forever feel stuck. See, the reason why people feel stuck when they're only motivated, people will get motivated. So they have these highs. They're working their hardest. They're working out. But then when that motivation is gone, they go back low. So then they have to go build up that high again. See, but the person with discipline, maybe it's slower progress, but they always just keep going up. Maybe they take a little bit hit, but they just keep going up. All right, they don't have to go all the way back down. They just keep going up. That's the thing about discipline. Okay, so discipline over motivation any day, every day. Okay, you want to be disciplined, not motivated. Motivation plus discipline is good. As long as you can always keep your discipline, motivation will just fuel you even higher. But if you have motivation with no discipline, you're cooked. I ain't gonna lie, you're cooked. So build discipline. All right, so another way, you have to change yourself. Okay, another way you have to change yourself, it was your habits. Build discipline. Your family and friends. Okay, if you're not willing, these people, let's say all they do is create negative into your life. This is you. All they do is add negative into your circle. Let's say sometimes they sprinkle a little positive into you, but other times they add negative. These equal each other out. They equal each other out. They're going to equal each other out. And the thing about your family, you probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 3 friends, 4, 5, 6, 7 friends. You have all these people sprinkling good, negative, good, negative. They're sprinkling all this good and positive and negative energy simultaneously to where it's creating chaos. It's lukewarm. That's exactly what it is. They're creating lukewarm. They're making you lukewarm. You can't have something that's good and evil. It can't be good and evil at the same time. If something's good, it's good. If something's evil, it's evil. All right. And here's another trick that Satan plays on us. All right. He plays this on the people. So I'm gonna go to a scripture to prove this. So Satan right here, and then we're gonna say God, Yahweh right here. Right. So a trick that they play. Satan wants you to be lukewarm. He knows that if you're lukewarm, Yahweh doesn't accept you as lukewarm. He won't accept you as lukewarm. You have to fully choose Yahweh if you want to be on his side, if you want to have blessings from him, if you want to be on his side, you have to fully choose him. Okay? So what Satan does, he makes you feel like it's okay. It's okay to not be perfect. As long as you're not fully evil, you can be like lukewarm. You could be half and half. You can even be 75%. 25% of the time you could do some things that are questionable, but it's okay with me. Okay, that's okay with Satan. All he wants to do is make you unacceptable to Yahweh. He wants to make you unacceptable to God. Okay, unacceptable to Yahweh. Okay, that's his main objective. So as long as you're not 100% with Yahweh, he wins. He's winning. If you're not 100%, if you're anywhere lukewarm, if you're not 100%, if you haven't chosen your side yet, it's either yes or no. Oh my gosh, I can keep going, bro. It's either yes or no. You have to choose yes or no, which is good or evil, okay? And I'm gonna pull up some scriptures real quick. Ooh, I almost leaked all my business stuff, okay? Let your yays be yay. All right, so let your yays be yay. All right, this says, but let your communications be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. So you have to say yes or no. You have to be 100% in or 100% not in. Anything in between, anything more than these cometh of evil. Anything in between these cometh of evil. So you can't be in the middle. All right, and then we have the lukewarm scripture. All right, we have, so, okay, let me go to verse 16. I know that works. Thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods and have need of nothing, I knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. Okay? So right here, you cannot be lukewarm. You need to choose hot or cold. You need to choose Yahweh or you need to choose Satan. Satan, if you want a clear indication of who Satan is and what is Satan doing on a daily basis, look at the average person. Look at the average population. If they're not living the life that you want to live, if they're not a good example, you could tell if someone's blessed or if they're cursed. Everything goes into blessings and curses. That's honestly what everything goes back into. Okay? So how I look at things, how things really are, I don't want to be like anyone in this world, bro. I genuinely don't want to be like any of these people. I don't want to be like any of these people. I don't see any of these people as role models. I don't see any of these people as idols. I don't see any of them as idols. My only idol is Yahweh. My only person that I look up to is Yahweh, which is God. Okay? So I choose this. I choose this side. Everything over here is uninteresting to me. Obviously, I want to do better, want to be more superior, want to be better, want to show off, but obviously you got to choose your side. Who are you really trying to improve or impress? Who is your life dedicated to? Who? Y'all get the point, okay? But let's keep going. All right, so we have your habits, your mindset, lukewarm. How else can you change? All right, let me help y'all out. All right, so lukewarm, your mindset, your environment. You got to change your environment. I'll say you. A lot of people, you have to self-reflect. You got to self-reflect. You got to look at yourself. What are you doing that's evil? What are you doing that is really unacceptable? Are you toxic? Do you complain about everything? Do you constantly let opportunities pass over you? What do you do that's bad? What do you do that's unacceptable? What are you doing that's keeping you stuck? See, a lot of the times, this is another thing that the devil wants you to do. He wants you to look at and blame other people for your failures. But you need to look at yourself. What are you doing that's making you stuck? Because you could say the people around you are toxic and negative. If you know they're toxic and negative, why are you hanging around them? It's your fault why you still hanging around them. Unless you're literally handcuffed and chained to them, it's your fault why you hang around them. It's your fault why you allow them to affect your brain. You allow them to program you. See, they program their negative frequencies into you to where you're running on a negative frequency. All right, that's all it comes down to. And hopefully y'all learned something. I had fun, man. I had fun. Hopefully y'all learned something. Hopefully you guys took something from this. Hopefully you guys can better your guys' lives and can change and can become better versions of yourselves. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, all this knowledge comes from Yahweh. All this knowledge comes from Yahweh. Half of this stuff, I don't even think I knew half this stuff. I ain't gonna lie. It just came out of me. I ain't gonna lie. Which aura. I ain't gonna lie, that's aura. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed and can learn and can better your guys' lives and can really change and can go from this to should we say rich? We'll say abundant. Abundant. I love that word. Abundant. All right. Well, I'll see you guys in the next video.